It's cherry or something.
Too strong?
Tastes like conference. Yeah, we're all giving you conference.
I was sponsored by Robitussin. You didn't see it?
Okay. To help you all fall asleep.
KRQE, man.
Alright, so we will start off as we normally do, talking some volleyball. We have 2 matches this week at home. We are the second half of our season, so we will play Wyoming and Colorado State again. Thursday match at 6:30. Saturday's match against Colorado State at noon. We'll start off with a statement and take questions.
Thanks, guys, for being here. We always appreciate it. I think a good week. Last week, we're coming off of a 1-1 week with a really tough, heartbreaking match with San Jose State, and kind of had this pretty crazy weekend of travel, getting out to Reno with flight cancellations and match cancellations, and then putting it back on. And next thing we knew, we were up serving and passing and practicing at 6:30 in the morning, which is a pretty rare thing to do mid-season. And we played a great match at 9 a.m. against Reno. And it was some areas of the game that we thought we did really well that we're going to definitely continue to push this week, and that we learned some lessons from the Colorado State-Wyoming week. We started to see some gains in our service pressure. That was a big deal for us. We started to see some gains in our defensive intensity and not letting balls hit the ground. And so this week they had yesterday off, and today we're getting right back after it here in about 45 minutes, and we're pumped to get back in the gym, and we're pumped to get another shot at Wyoming and Colorado State. 2 really good teams that are playing, they're playing as well as they can right now. We get them in our home gym after an adequate opportunity to rest, recover, get the bodies back where we want them to be, and then go get after them on Thursday and Saturday.
Caitlin's been phenomenal all season, but to see her show out in her hometown, how neat was that?
It was really cool. There was a moment where there was more people cheering on the Lobos than the Wolfpack, and you knew something special was in the air after her first couple swings, and she was flying and hammering, and she was just in this really great place. And I think she set a season high record for hitting efficiency, hitting .606, which is absolutely unheard of on 30 something attempts. And we were thrilled that she got to do that in her home city, and it was really great for Cassie McGill to have a great match as well, our grad transfer from Reno. So it was really cool to see these 2 players just have great afternoons, or should I say great mornings, in Reno.
Coach, where would you say that you guys are as far as how you saw the season shaping up? Are they doing about what you thought, or are you exceeding expectations?
Good question. I feel like it's been a little bit of it's been hard for me to put my finger exactly on it. There's matches kind of like the San Jose match where that first set, 25-13 or 25 something like that, where we were dominant against one of the top 3 teams in the league. We saw how close we were with Wyoming. We saw how we could have made a couple different plays at UNLV. And hey, now we're in some dogfight matches with the top tier of the league. And so I think we're at where I kind of expected us to be, where we're still growing in some certain phases, and some other phases, hey, we are pretty good over time in these areas of the game, and one of those areas has been, hey, our ability to respond after tough moments, our ability to stay in matches, how clean we're playing over time is something that's excited us as a staff. We go, whoa, hey, there was a time a year ago where, hey, I don't know that we would have been still in this rally, 3-4 exchanges later, and we're giving ourselves chances to win those rallies. And so I think we're right where we would want to be heading into this final stretch, this last half of the season, getting a second chance at all these teams and saying, hey, what we did really well in the spring of 21 was, I think we always came back better than we were the first night, where I think we always gave teams a better fight. We gave teams a better match the second time we played them. And so now we get to do that after a little bit of rest and recovery and a little more scout time and prep time. And I think that excites me going into this last half.
And to follow up on that, where would you think that you guys need work?
I think we've said it for a few weeks now. We've really, the middle third of the court is an area that we need to be attacking at a much higher efficiency. We're getting exposed there from our opponents when they're attacking in the middle third, so setting our middle blocker, setting our quick attack hitters. And so that's an area, and part of that comes with serve receive, with the ability to receive the first contact and to put it in an area on target that allows our setter to run all 3 options, left, middle, and right side attackers. And so that's a big area we want to get going, and we've got some time set aside for that today. And the other area that I think we just need to keep grinding away on is we need to be the toughest defensive team that we play. It needs to be our side of the net, never letting balls hit the ground, never letting bodies just kind of watch balls without bodies flying all over the court going for balls. So I think those 2 areas, getting our middles more involved and making sure that, hey, we are just going to outlast teams, it would be our biggest emphasis.
What do you feel like you guys learned from the first time you faced those two teams?
Yeah, you know, the Wyoming match was just such a unique environment for us, and Colorado State. You know, they're playing in front of 2,500 people, having a team that comes out on fire and they just kind of jump you from the first few points and then they put you back on your heels. It took us a little while to get going in the Colorado State match. I thought the Wyoming match, the very first set, was closer to us, and then the last two sets we played there, it was 2 plays, Brandon. We were 2 plays away, and so now it's okay. The biggest lessons are this accountability to execution and bettering our best. Can we continue to say, hey, this is the best that we've got? Can we just squeeze one more rally out of that? Can we squeeze one more dig? Can we squeeze one more in serve or out of system opportunity to knock our opponent out of system? And so I think that's, hey, going back into this match, we showed that we got better at that. You know, San Jose is a great team. We showed against them, and we came up a little bit short. You know, I want that one back. I want to go play it again. But unfortunately, that series is over. And I thought what was really nice is we had this great response with Reno. And it's like, okay, hey, this team's back on the tracks, and let's get going. Cool. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks so much.
You may have already covered this, I got here a little late.
All good.
Was the moment of timeout and delay in calling the conference office, is that like an unprecedented moment in college volleyball?
I have never, I've been a part of collegiate NCAA Division I volleyball for almost 15 years, and I've never been a part of what we went through on Thursday night. That's all I can say.
Briefly, one more time, quickly, could you reiterate that situation for me?
Yeah, so there was a challenge of a play at the net. There was a disagreement between the down official and the disagreement between the officials, the down and the up official, and the coach who called for the challenge. And it went from the challenge being overruled, so the point was awarded back to UNM, to a protest, and so the play was protested. And so anytime there's a protest, there's a protocol that takes place, and I that's all I can say without getting myself too deep in it. Yeah, yeah, of course.
All right, with that, we're good. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the question. It was a unique experience for all of us.
I think Joan,
Allison forgot to say it, but make sure you turn your cell phones off.
oh yeah, Frank. That's a Frank thing right
I know. Because it's now it's now gone from Henry to me, so because I am the last guilty party. Hi, Coach.
The second greatest of all time.
All right, so cross country, the women's team placed first at the Nutty Comb Invitational on October 15th, and the week after that they were ranked first in the USTF CCCA National Bowl for the women's team. And this week we're hosting the Mountain West Championships on Friday. The first race is at 10:15, and it's going to be at the UNM North Golf Course, so I'm looking forward to it. Take it away.
Okay. Welcome, guys. We look forward to hosting this event this year. We were fortunate enough to pick up this event last minute. San Jose was scheduled to host the competition but couldn't due to logistical reasons. So our event staff put together a bid, and we were able to get this bid last minute to host the competition here, which is great for our students, great for the community, great for the professors who want to cancel class and have all their students go over there and watch the meet. It works out perfect. So we're the first time we've been at home in years, a couple of years. So the men and women are looking forward to it. The women come in fit and healthy and ready to go, as well as the men. The Mountain West is very deep. There are 7 nationally ranked teams in the top 31. There are 4 on the men's side and 3 on the women's side that are all in the top 31. So it's a very powerful conference. It can compete with any Power 5 school in the sport of cross country.
How does home course advantage work in your sport as like it would work in a football game?
Well, for us, we literally have not been on that course in 2 years. So our first chance on that course and to run the course will be Thursday at noon. So we don't practice out there. So from a knowing the course and course advantage, minimal. Being at home and sleeping in your own bed and eating at the restaurants, that's a very positive. What we do have to do that's a little different is make sure we treat Friday morning like race day as opposed to showing up and coming to practice day. So we will get up a little early and just get everybody kind of gathered in the same location so they don't wander in, flip-flops and their sweatpants.
What is it like holding the #1 spot in the poll and going to a championship that you guys normally have great success in?
It's super nice to be voted by your peers, #1, but in our sport, like many, it really doesn't mean anything. NC State, BYU, Colorado, and Alabama, and Michigan are all very, very good teams. Colorado State on the women's side is a top 15 team in the country. Utah State is ranked on the men's side with the 4 teams all in the top 20. It just doesn't matter. The difference with this race for us is we haven't raced at elevation in a long time, so that'll be a little different for us. We have a lot of new people that haven't raced at elevation, so we have to be careful, and luckily we train higher than we race typically. Yes?
When did you find out that you guys had to do it?
Maybe 6 weeks ago, roughly. 6 weeks ago.
Are you planning to hold out any runners?
We will not hold out anybody for this. We will plan on holding out runners at the NCAA Regional, but we will not hold out for the Mountain West Championship.
For this season, Joe, what adversity do you think you guys have faced? Is there any type of adversity that you guys
For this season,
have?
knock on, is this actual wood? This is like fake wood. So nothing. We did have some issues real early in the season, but nothing significant at all. We've been super lucky with health, fitness, everything. We just need to make it another 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks.
What did you learn about the team after the win in Wisconsin?
It wasn't what I learned about after, it's what I learned about during. So with the women's team, what we saw in our sport, we take splits at certain points in the race. So at Wisconsin, there's a 2,000 meter split and a 4,000 meter split. So if you look at a significant portion of teams throughout the country, that spread from 1 to 5 is rather large. So our spread at 2,000 meters, and that's 1 through 5, what they count, was 1.6 seconds. Our spread at 4,000 meters was 1.1 seconds. So what that shows is that our women enjoy running together. They know how to work as a unit together and use each other to get the outcome. So if you ever know cycling races, you don't see Team A and Team B working together. You see cycling teams working together as a whole. So that's what I like. The parallel to that is this group worked really well together. Now, the last part of the race, they started to accelerate and put the hammer down, but it was still only an 18-second spread, 1 to 5, and that happened over the last 6 minutes of the race. Yep.
To build such a successful program, what do you think it took? Like, where does that take you?
To remember all the positives that we have and not focus on the negatives. Somebody asked me today why we listen to the music we listen to at practice. There's too much angst in the world. Let's be happy.
What do you listen to?
We listen to EDM. But it's happy. I'm sick of, negativity can only go so far. We have literally one of the best training locations in the world. We don't need a $500 million indoor stadium because we have the best stadium in the world with our outdoor climate. For a lot of sports, we don't need those things. We might want those things, but you don't need those things to be successful.
Coach, there's 2 private questions. With all your success here and what you just explained, the terrain and everything, have you ever been lured by other schools to leave your commitment here at UNM?
In the past, I've talked to other schools. It's not frequent. In fact, it's rare. If you look at my tenure at jobs, they're long. My previous job at Butler University, I was there 14 years. Here, I've been here 15 years. My wife and I are creatures of habit. We like what we like. We go to the same spots. We do the same things. We don't like change. So in order for something to change, you have to find something that is going to make you or enable you to be a happier person, or enable you to do something different with your life. We have everything we want and need here. So the answer to your question is yes. In the past, not recently, but something has to be super unique, and I have super unique here, and we have great administration. We have a president that believes in all sports. We have an athletic director that believes in all sports. So the grass is not always greener.
Joe, did you say the spread at 2,000 was 1.6 and at 4,000 was 1.1?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. So 10:15 and 11 a.m. Be there.
Free burritos.
Right, women's soccer just closed their home schedule. We hosted Colorado College, and it was a 2-0 shutout on Thursday. And then on Sunday was a 2-1 win over Air Force. And that win actually claimed a regular season championship for us. Right now it's a shared title, and Thursday's game against San Diego State and Fresno's game will also determine if it's an outright championship or a shared title. We also did clinch the #1 seed in the conference tournament coming up next week. We face San Diego State in San Diego on Thursday at 8 p.m.
Thanks, Mama. Yeah, huge weekend for our team. Really big weekend for our team. I think, truthfully, I think winning a regular season title is harder than anything you can do, because to beat everybody once is hard, especially when you have there's home and away seasons in the Mountain West for women's soccer, and this was very much an away season. So only 5 home games. So to have the record they have and to clinch a title they should be incredibly proud of themselves. Like this group is, yeah, there's not enough nice words to say about them. So really happy for them. It's a really nice feeling to be able to go to San Diego State and not need that game. Of course, it's a game that we want to win. They're a big rival and a big opponent, but to not need it is rare. Most times this time of year, it's like must win to save your life, you know. So I think for the girls to be able to take a deep breath and really make sure that we take care of ourselves and get to the conference tournament is the focus right now, but not without praise to them to win it. Like it's a big deal. So really proud of them, really happy for the team, and now's time to get focused for our next season. So yeah.
Do you feel like now that you don't need, like it's not a must-win type of situation, how challenging is it going to be for you to make sure everybody's motivated and get that one anyway?
It won't be hard to motivate them at all. If you say San Diego State, they're motivated. I mean, San Diego State's candidly knocked us out of the tournament in my tenure. I mean, 4 times I can think of off the top of my head. And I think we've returned the favor a few times, one of them being last year in the conference championship. But they're always a very good team. They're always kind of the big dog in the conference. And I think, I think just your natural competitive juices will be ready for that game. But it's nice that you can go into it and really focus on us getting better and not just trying to get a result. And I think that will be our focus.
Rivals.
Big rivals, yeah. Yeah, and rivals, but in a way that you respect them. I mean, they're a great soccer team. They always are. And they play nice soccer, and they've got a great field. And it's fun when you have a team that you definitely want to beat, but you have a high level of respect for as well.
So you guys had fun with a costume practice today? Did you have a favorite costume today?
No comment. No, I'm kidding. No, it's a tradition. Every year we have our Halloween practice, and our team competes at that probably as much as they do throughout the season. There's not much that they don't go all out for. So I think the football team was all in shock as they were walking up, and there was ghosts, and I don't even know what they were today. But yeah, they're outstanding at Halloween practice. It's one of their skills.
I feel like I ask an Emily question almost every week,
Yeah.
and I'm curious, and I know the season's far from over, but where does she rank in the best keepers this program's ever had?
I mean, the funny thing is she's been here almost the entire time I have been. So I mean, I know Kelly Cornell holds quite a few of the records. Cassie Ulrich, who's actually now a head coach at Salt Lake Community College, which is pretty cool. They've all been outstanding goalkeepers. Emily kind of follows in that tradition. But what I think Emily's, greatest contribution is who she is off the field. I mean, she leads here with like 3.8 MBA, and she's just been a huge leader for us. So that one will be a really difficult one to replicate. But we've got a pretty unbelievable freshman. You guys are gonna like her. She's good.
Circling back to Randy's question, I'm kind of curious to know if you participated in the costumes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I can't tell you that, man. One day you're just going to have to come to Halloween practice. What happens at Halloween practice stays at Halloween practice, unless it makes Instagram, and then everybody sees it. But yeah, we get dressed up for Halloween practice too. We're not going to let them have all the fun. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Coach.
Nothing's on Instagram yet that I see.
Look at our story.
All right, we got no game this week, but we have practice today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Chance for us to get better. Coach did mention the other day that the younger guys get a chance to scrimmage and be in full pads and do stuff like that. But other than that, we have no game this week.
We don't. We get an opportunity to get better, but what a bunch of a lot of exciting things that we got going on around here. Heather was just up here, obviously, and they guaranteed them a share for the conference championship and #1 seed, which is awesome, with games left. I mean, we got the #1 ranked cross country team in the nation. We got championships coming up for track and field. I mean, we got all kinds of things going on around here that are pretty cool. So, give a lot of credit to the athletic department, those coaches, Coach Franklin, Coach Dyke, and then volleyball still. I mean, we got a lot of really positive things going on out here, and then we ended a losing streak that we knocked down a door, winning a road game. I mean, that was a positive deal. I've been to Laramie late October many times in my 20-some years of doing this, and never lucked out to have that good weather. It rained a little bit in the fourth quarter, and it's like a spring day in Laramie, so that was a heck of a deal. And then we played better. Played pretty good on defense to get off the field on third down, 3 for 12 on third downs. That'll help you win some games. And then the offense, I thought, did a great job of maintaining the ball, changed the pace of the game. I mean, we played 9 plays in the first quarter on defense. We played 50 in the first half against Air Force, so significantly different. Against Colorado State. Significantly different outcome there. Isaiah played well. I mean, the kids responded to him. It was a great day for Louisville football. I mean, it was a positive deal. I was asked a few times about the 4th and 1 decision in the third quarter. I ain't changing. It's who I am. I thought we had the momentum. I thought, the 2 PAT field goals I didn't think were really good. The protection was a little shaky. And then it was a little crosswind there. And I thought we had some momentum to go for it, and we're going to continue to do that. And as we get closer, I mean, if it would have been a difference between being a 1-score game and a 2-score game, we were already up 2 scores, albeit a field goal and a touchdown and 2-point conversion. But, I mean, we're trying to finish them off. And we were running the ball okay. Thought we could capitalize on that, especially 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. I thought Aaron might have got it on the 3rd and 1, but they didn't give it to us. And so the great part to that response is the defense came out and got a stop. Luke Wysong keeps doing some amazing things. And when you have a guy back there on punt returns that can do those things, those guys seem to block a little bit better. If we get one more block, I mean, I was giving Luke a hard time today. I'm like, you can't make one guy miss. We got to block them all. If he'd have made one more guy miss, he'd had another touchdown, which is really cool. I mean, he's doing some really good things. But the 2 catches that he made, the one on the 42 going in, I see Luke Wysong in the future not fair catching that and scoring a touchdown. But that was huge because that ball's going to roll back to our 20 or worse. And then the one he caught over the shoulder, like Willie Mays style catch, I mean, that was awesome and almost turned it into a touchdown. And I thought those 2 plays were significant plays in the game. I thought the 3rd down play on the first drive of the second half that Patrick Peak made on the corner route might have been the difference in the momentum of the game. Against UTEP, when we came out in the 3rd quarter, they threw a deep ball and we didn't make a 50-50 ball. And I complained about that after the game, that if we don't make 50-50 plays, we're going to lose games. That was a 50-50 ball that he actually got beat on the route and made a great play on the sideline. And I thought that changed the entire momentum of the second half, and that was the 4th or 5th play. Those are the kind of things that you have to execute to give yourself a chance to win. And those things, I mean, that's the positive from that is the fight that I talk about them having. They're willing to continue to fight, and we fought hard enough Saturday. We got a great opportunity to get better as a football team this week. We'll go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The young guys will get an opportunity to scrimmage a little bit this week. And then we can get the guys that are playing on Saturdays rest. I mean, get them some good work early on in practice, get them in the weight room a little bit to rejuvenate and stay strong, and get them some of those bruises and bumps and nicks healed up. They should be as fresh as they're going to be for the rest of the season before UNLV just because of that time off. But they shouldn't feel good still, which is part of playing football. It's why it's fun. I mean, just progression. I mean, it's there's no different in the after we lost those 5 games, and now we've won a game. The plan's the same. We're still building something, and we have a long way to go. But the fight that they showed on Saturday, and we still got a lot to play for. We still have 4 games, and somebody asked me, do you just try to build for the future and not worry about the outcome? No, I don't agree. You go into every game to win every game, and that will help build this process. So when we go up against UNLV in 2 weeks, the idea is to win the game. When we go to Boise, it's to win the game. When we go to Fresno, it's to win the game. When we host Utah State, it's to win the game. So that'll help us build this program. But, I mean, it's a lot easier to coach off of a win than it is off of a loss. And you have doubts that they're going to come back and continue to work. But I shouldn't doubt this group because they have a lot of pride, and they're trying really hard, and that's a positive deal. Go ahead, Brandon.
Tony Collier led the way in tackles on Saturday. Talked to him today. He said he had a moment with you. You came down to him in practice, and it really stuck with him. What have you seen from him this season bouncing back like that?
Confidence and courage. There was a deal in practice on Tuesday. He didn't take on a block from a tight end like I thought he should have. And so in some kinder words, I told him if he does that on Saturday, they're going to put him in the hospital. And the hospital in Laramie, Wyoming, not going to be a whole lot of fun. You're going to be there by yourself. So don't do that. And so after the game, what was his comment? He said, Coach, I'm not in the hospital. I took that to heart, which is good. I mean, he's listening to the words. And he did. He played physical. He made a bunch of plays on the running game. He made some plays in coverage. I mean, they took away some routes in coverage because of their technique getting better. Between him and Corey Hightower, I thought it was the best game the corners played all year. Corey was really aggressive, but he was aggressive with his technique. He stayed in his pedal in man coverage. he was able to read the quarterback in zone coverage. I mean, that first interception he made was a great play because we're in cloud coverage, meaning he's got the deep third to that side. He baits the quarterback into thinking he's playing like a cover 2 corner rolled up, and then he turns and runs because he sees the quarterback's shoulders and his vision of where he's throwing the ball, and he intercepts it. It was a great play, and Corey baited him into it. Now, his return skills weren't very good. I mean, he's got to do a lot better job than the 2 yards he got. But we finally got an interception back there from doing something that they do in practice, and that was huge. So for him and Tony to play the way they did, it gave us a lot better opportunity to win. Now, you obviously have to have some luck when you win football games because Wyoming had 2, maybe 3 opportunities at walk-in touchdowns. One he overthrows, one the receiver jumps up and catches the ball and falls down that he doesn't need to. And it's a completely different game if they capitalize on those. But the positive to that first one the second one where he caught it and fell down, they have the ball first and goal on the 10-yard line and we hold him to a field goal. So the defense kept him out of the end zone. Sometimes it takes some luck, and we've got to continue to improve on those parts so that we don't fall down in coverage, so that we make a play. We can make a play on a 50-50 ball like we did some of them Saturday. But the positive is we kept him out of the end zone. Go ahead, Van.
How is Terry doing? And with that, has Isaiah played enough to where you might have both of those guys playing against UNLV?
Well, Terry's our starting quarterback. We're still trying to get Terry to where he can play. I thought what we did, though, on Saturday gave us a chance to win and gave us, it gave us a chance to be successful. Obviously, Wyoming hadn't prepared for the majority of it, so that was a little bit of advantage. But Isaiah did a nice job. I thought Coach Wareheim did a great job of managing the clock and slowing the game down a little bit to give us a chance. But as we go over the next 2 weeks, we'll evaluate who the best player is that gives us a chance to win, and that guy's going to play. I mean, it don't matter who it is, whether it's Terry or Isaiah. The one that gives us the chance to win is the one that's going to play.
Coach, when the clock struck 0, horn sounds 0-0, what was your personal emotional reaction and the team's emotional reaction?
I was glad the game was over because we won. Until that thing reaches 0, it's awful. But that's why you do it, I guess. I thought he caught the last ball of the game, which was going to irritate me because we were playing double cloud and it should have been a little bit easier than that. But we got a little bit of pressure. Justin missed a sack because of an aiming point, caused the quarterback to throw it up in the end zone. That's a long throw. I mean, he threw that thing 55 yards off his back foot, and they didn't quite catch it. So that was good. We kept him out of the end zone. That would have taken a little bit of the fun out of it if it had been 14-10 as opposed to 14-3. But I was really happy for our kids because they keep fighting. And when you lose 5 in a row and the scores were as lopsided as they were, I told them this on Sunday. I was really happy with how they showed up to work on Tuesday. And if I'm letting doubt creep in, then they're in trouble. And I believe in them. So they've got a great pride, and that was why they were able to fight. And then we executed some things. They couldn't run the ball. We played good enough on third down, and then the offense did a nice job, especially in the first half. Now, in the second half, we got a little bit vanilla because the defense was playing really good. And it was an opportunity for them not to screw it up. We didn't want to turn the ball over, fumble it down, pitch it wrong, miss a blocking assignment, and then give them a chance and some momentum. And so I thought that was a really good team win, and I was proud of them and happy for them. Go ahead, Steve.
What are we to expect from an offense? Is it more than what we saw against Wyoming?
Well, wouldn't you like to know? And so would Coach Arroyo. He'd like to know, too. I'll tell you how you can find out. Show up on November 6th, and you'll see what we're doing. Go ahead.
As far as having the open week, how are you guys physically? Did it come at a great time for guys to heal some injuries and all that stuff? We've gone. We played 8 games, and we've got some guys that are bumped and bruised and nicked up. Obviously, they're showing some toughness because when we get them nicked up and bruised in the game, they aren't laying on the field. And we're not running out there to have to come get them, and that's a mindset. And I know I say it a whole lot to them, so they take a lot of pride in that. And now sometimes in this game, you get hurt so bad that there's nothing you can do. But we had a guy tear an ACL, and he would not lay down. He found his way to the sideline. So there's not just emphasis, but there's some pride amongst them that
that's awesome. That's a really good start to where we're headed. We've got the normal bumps and bruises of a football team, though, and it is really good to be able to – you still have to be able to practice through some of that things. There's some guys that are beat up. Joey Noble is beat up, but you can't tell on Saturdays. And so I think the position coaches and Coach Law and Coach Wareheim done a good job of managing those guys during the week to get them to Saturday. And we can do that this week a little bit extra and make sure that they don't get their bumps and bruises hit during practice and stuff, because they still we don't have any guys that are so good that they can't practice and play well. Plus they get out of shape. So we can manage them this week a little bit, and it did come at a good time, 8 games, and then we'll have 4 left to get refreshed for. So, I mean, the best part is, though, the young guy development, the opportunity to get some live reps for some of those guys. And a few of them are playing a little bit here and there, but they need more. You give an opportunity to some older guys that aren't playing as much, that may never play football again. And we left it up to them, and we had a bunch of them out there, so that means they love playing football. So that's a positive. And then there's no pressure to win a game on Saturday, so practice is a lot more fun watching them scrimmage as opposed to trying to prepare to win a football game.
Behind that, Aaron finally got his first touchdown. How is he doing as far as his maturation process?
I think he's growing up before our eyes, which is awesome for a true freshman. I mean, between him and Luke Weissong, they seem to be the loudest voice on the sideline too. The touchdown run was, that was awesome. He ran over the guy in the end zone. The 4th down run on the drive that we scored, the first one, I thought the offensive line did a great job of blocking, and he did a great job of not closing his eyes and running up the back of one of those guys like we've done a couple times, and it made a outside move, and we got a 5-yard gain as opposed to getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage. And then we scored. We went forward again on 4th down and got the touchdown out of it. So Aaron was a big part of that. Now, Bobby Cole didn't get as many carries as he had been getting or probably would like, but he was he looked like an old school fullback on Saturday, running through there to the second level and was trying to annihilate guys and was having fun. And it was awesome to see the two of them work together the way they did and what we were doing on offense. So that was between those two. Aaron's growing up before our eyes, which is good. He's going to be a good player. What else? Aaron? The two of them will work it out we'll fight it out in practice. Most of our formations, or some of our formations, both of them are in there. Depending on what we're doing and how we do it. I don't think you can be a team that wins championships that throws it 3 times a game. I don't. So if that tells you anything to your question, I don't think you can be a predominant run-only triple option team and win championships. I don't. You have to be able to throw the ball in this day and age of college football. What we did Saturday was really hard to prepare for, especially if you don't know it's coming. Somebody asked me, was it easier for the O-line because it was something they're familiar with? Nobody on our offensive line is familiar with running the triple option. They were not here when Coach DeBest was here and Coach Wareheim was here before. That group was not a part of that. So you have to give them a whole lot of credit for what they did. Now we have some triple option plays in our offense, and we do them here and there. But it's really hard when that's going to be your predominant offense and you don't practice it all the time. So give those guys a lot of credit because they did some really good things. Now we missed a bunch of opportunities on Saturday because it was new. First play, I was giving Isaiah a hard time. The first play of the game could have been an 80-yard touchdown if he had any wiggle, but it was 2nd and 8. But there was a couple plays that should have been 2nd and 8 that were 3rd and 1 3rd and 8, but were 3rd and 1 because he made somebody miss or he ran over somebody. So there's plays to be had, but you can't be a run-only football team and win championships. I don't think you can. So we've got to continue to be able to throw the ball. But you also have to go into a game and know what gives you a chance to win. And that's what gave us a chance to win on Saturday. So we'll keep building. Yes. And
as far as, don't you feel real encouraged to see, you have a lot of young players doing good things?
A lot of young players. Trace Bruckler played really well on Saturday. Obviously, Isaiah's young. Aaron's young. Luke Weissong's young. Ronald Wilson, Tavian Combs, those 2 freshman safeties are going to be 2 of the best safeties in this league over the next 3 years. Cody Moon Cody Moon and Ray Luatelli. Now, Ray Luatelli he's going to be one of the best linebackers in this league. And we sitting there in the meeting room and say, my goodness, if Ray was 6'2", God, he'd be a first round. Well, guess what? If Ray was 6'2", he wouldn't be here. Okay, he would be at SC or he'd be at Oregon or he'd be at one of those places. But guess what? Ray Luatelli is good enough to play at SC. He's good enough to play at Oregon and all those places. So we lucked out and got a jewel. He's going to be a great player. Cody Moon was recruited by nobody, not even us, until we got here right late. He wasn't recruited as a scholarship athlete. He is on scholarship now because he's proven that he's one of our best players on defense. And if we can get that young man up with some weight, he's going to be a mean, really good football player. I mean, he'll be one of the best. He reminds me of Nick Spiegel. I don't think he'll get as big as Nick, but his demeanor. I mean, Cody rides bulls for fun. I mean, you got to be a little different to ride bulls for fun, and had to get after him last year because he showed up with a splint. And I was like, man, you can't do that while you're playing football. I mean, you can be a rodeo guy 4 years from now. So he's got that mindset. So we've got a bunch of young guys that are playing a lot, and that is the hardest part of managing the roster right now is with that 4-game rule. I think it's a really good deal where freshmen can play or anybody can play up to 4 games and still redshirt. But we've got a couple guys that we've maxed out on the 4 games that will continue. They'll be scout team guys now, but they got some experience at this speed. There's a couple guys that we have not used yet that we can use, that we will on special teams and give them a chance to athletically adjust to the speed, and it'll help us for the long haul. But the majority of 2 weeks ago we started 7 true freshmen in a football game. Saturday it was 6. That's a lot of true freshmen. You're going to lose a game for every true freshman you start normally. Well, those guys are proven to be some of our better players, and so that means we'll have them for 3 or 4 more years. Those are positive deals, but we've got a long way to go to be a good football team. They played good enough Saturday to win, and I'm proud of them. But nothing's changed. The attitude, the happiness up here has changed because we won, but nothing's changed in the plan and the progress of where we're going.
Coach, your specific critique of how well Isaiah played, can you literally detail in your eyes whatever happened?
Sure. I mean, I don't treat him any different. Isaiah made some really good plays. That 4th down throw and the play action that we got the first touchdown was a great play. The guys up front did a great job selling it. Trace did a really good job blocking down and selling it out the backside, and Isaiah made a good throw. Isaiah missed a couple reads. Isaiah missed a couple pitches and had a couple opportunities to get some big-time yards and didn't. So Isaiah did some really good things. Isaiah did some knucklehead things, just like the other 22 guys that were on the field all day. But when you win, it's easier to watch those things and laugh. When you lose, you go, God, that could have been an 80-yard touchdown. That's the difference in the game. And so those are the teaching moments that you get. It's just like Jarek Reed's personal foul on the first 3rd down. That's inexcusable from a first-team all-conference guy. And he had the almost identical play against San Diego State 2 weeks ago. Knocked the quarterback out on the sideline. Difference in the demeanor of the quarterback. Quarterback was trying to gain more yards against San Diego State. Against Wyoming on Saturday, the quarterback had given himself up. We want those guys to play mean and physical to the whistle and be all the way, over the edge, but not cross the line. And so getting him to learn, he's running over there trying to get a hit on the quarterback. He sees it. But growing up, understanding that the quarterback gave himself up is a huge maturation process. And so we won the game. So it's easy to say, well, Jarek, you can't do that. But if we would have extended that drive and they complete that ball where the quarterback overthrows it, well, they're going to get a touchdown on a ball that they shouldn't even have been on the field. So, yeah, we won, so you can't do that. But that has got to be, Jarek, you can't do that. 11 guys on defense, you can't do that. Understand when you can lick the quarterback and when you can't. And so those kind of things. And I do that with Isaiah. I do it with our offensive linemen. Are obviously on the defensive kids because of my background. I'm probably more boisterous on what they do, but I don't give them any slack. Win or lose, I don't give them any slack. That's just who I am. I'm a perfectionist, and you'll never play a perfect game, and that'll gnaw at me. But it's who I am, and I ain't changing. I make 4th down calls to go for it that I know irritate people here in the city of Albuquerque. And I love that it irritates them because it means they care. But I'm stubborn, and I want to score touchdowns, and I want to win games, and I'm not changing. And if it costs me my job someday, it does. But you know what? Right now, it's the right thing to do for what we're doing, and we won. So we'll keep going down that path. And when you're playing for championships, which we will play for championships around here, technically we're not out of the championship drive right now. Are we good enough to win all 4 games? I don't know. We would need some help. Air Force obviously doesn't have as many games left in the conference as we do. They'd have to lose multiple games or get in a tiebreaker situation. But here we are creeping up on Halloween, and I can stand in the room and honestly tell our kids we're playing for a championship still. We got a lot to play for. Are we good enough? I don't know. But guess what? Nobody thought we were good enough to beat Wyoming. We were 20-point underdogs. So that's why you play the game every Saturday. That's the fun of what we're doing. Go ahead, Brandon.
Just got one more. High school football season's winding down, or the regular season's winding down. Tons of great rivalries this week. Any rivalries stand out in your head over the years?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the great part of this week also, is here in about an hour, we've got some coaches that are going to go hit up high schools here in town. They get to watch practice because we're not having to prepare for UNLV this Saturday. So we've got our stuff done, and then they'll go visit and hang out with the coaches. Shoot, I might even swing by Valley High School if I get a chance to go see Judge and those boys. I know there's a really big game up in Rio Rancho this Friday night between Cleveland and Rio Rancho, which probably the 2 best teams in the state, probably the 2 best teams over the last few years. And they're going to have to play again in a couple weeks in the playoffs probably. So, I mean, we've got kids on those teams that we've offered that we'll continue to go evaluate and recruit. We've got a big function for the University Athletic Department on Friday night, our gala, which is a big fundraiser. So unfortunately, I won't be at the Rio Rancho Cleveland game. I wish I was, but we'll have coaches there. Through the years, I mean, all the great ones. I mean, you go down south, Lovington, Artesia. I mean, all those through that whole area right through there. Both the Roswell teams playing against each other. High implications in those games. Las Cruces teams playing against each other. I mean, before you had, I'm not sure the new name of the Las Cruces Oñate, but Oregon Mountain. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend anybody if I said it. And then Centennial, before they were there, you had Las Cruces Mayfield against Cruces in Aggie Memorial Stadium, which would get 30-some thousand people. I mean, those things are special, and that's what we're coming up on. And then high school football playoffs around here. I mean, I was a big advocate, and I mean, Ed Manzanares and Eddie Nunez did a great job of getting those high school games here in our stadium because I think that's where they belong. And I mean, I wish we didn't have the deal on this Friday night so I could go out and see a couple of those high school games, because it's why we didn't play New Mexico State on Friday and why we weren't on CBS Sports Network all season long. I guess I'm not allowed to say that, but I said it. Because I didn't want to move the game to Friday night. They wanted us to play it Friday night at 5 o'clock against New Mexico State. Friday night's for high school football. And if I have an option or any control of it, we ain't playing on Friday nights. Now, there's going to be some times that it's out of my control. Friday afternoon against Utah State, that's out of my control, but that's 11 o'clock, so that'll be okay. But we didn't do it so that the people that play high school football, one, their families could go enjoy them, watch it, and then come to our game on Saturday night. And a lot of them did. We had almost 30,000 people. So I'm excited for high school football coming up on the playoffs here in New Mexico, because New Mexico football is getting a lot better. Our top teams can compete with top teams in Arizona, California, and Texas. We don't have as many top players as those guys do, but there's enough that they can be real competitive. I know the Rio Rancho schools have been going to play South Points and Tucson and Boulder Creeks and Cherry Creek and all those schools, and have been very competitive and have won some of those games. So, I mean, New Mexico high school football is getting a lot better, and that's why I think it's important for us to continue to recruit it. Do you have another one?
Yeah. Is Wilson back here?
He is not 100% released to play. I would guess by UNLV he will be, though. So if I feel he can protect himself, he'll have an opportunity to play.
The type of offense you guys run against Wyoming, how do you see Terry in the offense?
Well, did you see Terry run the option play against Air Force for about 40 yards? I think he fits right in. So Terry's a stud now. He did a lot of the zone read, option read stuff at Kentucky. So he fit right in. He'll be fine. But I don't think we can go a game throwing it once or twice. I mean, I don't think you can. So, but you go into every game with the best opportunity, gives your team a chance to win. What else? Good. Awesome. Thank you. Enjoy the weekend. Go Lobos. What else?